We all have soul agreements when we sign up to this life. So, by soul agreements, I mean we make promises and plans and commitments to do certain things and go down certain paths and achieve certain things and have certain experiences and gain a lot from those experiences and gain or found wisdom. We were meant to accomplish certain things. And then those commitments expire. Then those soul agreements expire. Then those things that we were so avid doing, that we got so familiar with doing, so comfortable with. And we feel, from an egoic point of view, like we want to continue doing those things because of the results that they deliver, because it's something that we enjoy. But then there's a little whisper of a voice inside of us that tells us it's time to move on. It's time to do something else. It's time to stop what you're doing. You have gone as far up the mountain as you can. You have started at the bottom of the mountain and you've climbed all the way up to the top of it. You've done all that you needed to. You've done all that you wanted to. So it's time to move on. You have mastered this. You have succeeded with this. You have done all this. And so you've mastered this. It's time to move on. That soul agreement has come to a close. It's time to move on to the next chapter, to the next part of your life, to the next great adventure, to the next goal. You've climbed this mountain. Well, here's another mountain. Here's a different mountain for you. Don't just think that, oh, I've come as far as I can and there's nowhere else to go. We are lifelong learners and livers of life. They say, don't rest on your laurels. I'm here to say that you may think that you've reached the point of the top. You know all that you know about a specific area. You know how to do, all that you can with a particular thing. That's just it. You have done all that you can. You can't go any further. You've hit a dead end. You're banging on a door over and over again. You're coming up against a wall, and you need to find a different direction. You're on a seesaw, and you went a particular direction, and you can't go any further into that direction. You've hit the ground. You need to go the other way. So when your soul is communicating to you, guess what? That soul agreement has expired. Time to move on. Time to do something new. Follow it. Follow that soul agreement. Listen to it. Trust it. And move on that path in which your intuition is guiding you to move on that path. Don't just ignore it and put it on the back burner and suppress it like it doesn't matter. Don't pretend like it doesn't matter when it does. So, it's really important that we graduate from high school and don't go back to high school, that we move on, that we don't stay in the same South Node patterns of just being in a choir because, it felt familiar and I could barely get by with just blending in with other people and not being expected to know how to read music and not being expected to know how to interpret the staff and sing it on my own accord. There's a comfort zone with blending in. There's a comfort zone with school, or whatever that comfort zone is. There's a comfort zone with shining shoes and working at Walmart or whatever that job is that did work for a long time. It provided you with a good source of income. It provided these relationships, these people, this wisdom, and now you've gained it. It's time to move on to something else, to something bigger, to something higher, to something better, to something different. And if you keep putting energy into this specific direction, then you're not going to get the results that your soul is craving. Your soul is craving adventure and new things. Deborah Silverman, who's an astrologer and psychotherapist, thinks of the soul and associated it as a slut. That it doesn't care your title, your height, your status, your net worth, whatever. It doesn't care. It goes beyond the ego judgments. It just wants you to be true to yourself. It wants you to be true to your authenticity. And when we keep doing the same things, when we're stuck in the same rut and we cannot move on, when we continue thinking that, oh, if I just keep on doing what I'm doing, I'm going to feel better. Guess what? In astrology, Uranus is the exact opposite of that. Uranus is that sudden thrust of truth and realization that, guess what, this is not working for me, and I need to liberate myself. Now, either you make the choice to liberate yourself on your own accord when you decide that this is not working, and this direction is not the way I should continue going, and this direction is not going to keep giving me the joy and fulfillment that I'm looking for, that actually moving in a different direction and liberating myself here and now is going to save me a lot of pain in the long term. And so I make the choice to liberate myself. Or it can be harsh liberation. It can be something externally that happens, like a crisis or something, that forces you out of your rut, that gets you out of that expired soul agreement and liberates you and forces you to move on a new path, forces you to move in a new direction, forces you to move on and move up in your life and initiate and begin the next soul agreement. So I believe that that is all I have to say about that. I hope that you found honesty and meaning from that contemplation. Bye for now.